Good evening, FlossTube. It is Thursday. What date is it? It is the 21st of November. Next week is Thanksgiving. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. It seems like the month of November has flown by. I keep thinking it's still October, but nope. Time to figure out turkey plans, right? So, how's your week been going? Have you been having a good time? Have you been having a good week? Yeah, mine's been pretty good. We have a new thing in my house. We have a teen driver, which I have mentioned before. He now has his own car. We bought his grandma's car. She stopped driving a number of years ago, so we bought grandma's old Buick LeSabre. There's nothing a teenage boy likes better than driving an old Buick four-door LeSabre. You know what? My first car was a four-door Buick Special. And this was a car that had those big, long bucket seats. Not bucket seats, what do they call them? Bench seats. Had a big, long bench seat in the back and the front. And I could get, I don't know, 20 of my closest friends in the car. It was ginormous. Yeah, it was my grandpa's car, and when he got to the point where he couldn't drive anymore, I bought his car from him for $1. It was so cute. I bought his car. Anyway, yeah, so the tradition continues. Apparently in our household, the first car you get when you're a teen driver is a Buick. So we now have a Buick LeSabre parked in our driveway, and he's very excited and we're happy for him. What's not so great is insurance. Oh my gosh. I thought I was gonna have to go give my husband CPR. I was at the insurance office, I was getting the quotes, I was getting the temporary ID cards, and I'm texting him how much it's gonna be. And at one point he said, "I'm calling you." And he called me and I'm like, yeah, well, that's what it is. And anyway, we'll make it work. But it was shocking. Everybody tells you that when you get a teen driver and you add them to your insurance, that it's horribly, awfully, dreadfully expensive. They're right. Okay, enough of that foolishness. Let's talk about what we're all here for. Let's talk about the cross stitch. But first, I have to show you where today's episode is sponsored by, right? So, I have almost all of the North American Starbucks You Are Here mugs. I'm missing a few. I found this beauty this week. It showed up. It is Disney's Hollywood Studios. Look at that. Mickey water tower. Love it. Love it. So, it's a little bit later than I normally film. It is about 7 p.m. So I'm going to try to keep this nice and short so I can get it uploaded for you guys tonight. Beverage, hot spiced apple cider, no coffee. It's too late. I have become an official old person. Caffeine will keep me awake if consumed after about 6 p.m. So, hot spiced apple cider it is for me tonight. And that's just fine. I like the stuff. And yeah, so, new mug, apple cider, away we go. All right. What did I get done last week? Well, last week, I decided to become a monogamous stitcher. I stitched on one project and one project only. And that's great because I have a finish. And if you follow me on Instagram, it's Lady Robin S, same as the channel here. You will have seen my finish already, but I'm going to show you just in case you don't. I finished Thankful. You see that? Yeah. So I got that done. And I know last week in my FlossTube I was telling you I had a little charm, a little squirrel charm. It turned out It was much bigger than I thought it would be, and it pretty much covered up the entire acorn, so I'm gonna have to find something else for that squirrel charm because it ended up being a distraction to the piece, not, it didn't complement it. So this is my finish, and now I get to decide how to FFO it. And I have a confession. I am terrible at FFOing. In fact, behind my camera is a pile, and I'm not, you know, it's not a ginormous pile, but there's still a pile of finished objects. And some of them have been finished for years. I think I have 13 things sitting in that pile. And it makes me nervous to think about finishing them myself. And yeah, so if you're thinking stitchy thoughts this week, would you think good thoughts for me? Because I really want to finish, I really want to FFO this piece, and I think I want to make it into a pillow. And that just sounds daunting to me. That just sounds horrible. I wish Becca Sombre Stitches lived like right next door to me, because her finishes, her little pillows are so cute and they're so perfect. And she talks about how she has a sewing machine that she bought that's still in the box. So apparently she does everything by hand, which stuns me. Because, oh my gosh. I struggle with, you know, putting something through the sewing machine and getting straight lines. And I can't imagine doing that by hand. So, all right. Think of thoughts for me this week, because I really want to FFO it this weekend. And I'm thinking, like I said, I'm thinking a pillow, but we'll see. Which means I have to go to, what is it? Joann's or maybe Hobby Lobby and find some backing fabric for it and stuffing and, I don't know, interfacing. See, this is why I don't FFO it. The thought process of all the things I need, it's so daunting that I just, you know, I freeze up and I stop, and then I just go, oh, look, I'll put that in the pile behind my camera and I'll think about it later. And later gets to be later and later. So anyway, at least I finished the stitching part. It's the FFOing part that gives me a little trepidation. I'm such a wimp. All right, so I've got a couple of confessions, true confessions. So I confess that FFOing gives me anxiety. Guess what else is giving me anxiety? The School of Magical Stitches, you guys. I love the School of Magical Stitches, but right now there's too much homework. The holidays are coming. I have to think about cooking stuff. I might be a Magical Stitches dropout and just turn to doing a concentration on one piece a week and get things crossed off my list so that I can have more finishes that I won't turn into anything. So what I have decided that I'm going to do this week is I'm going to concentrate on this guy. And I've showed it to you before. And this is my, I'll just hold the whole darn thing up. Get a good look at it. Can you see that? Okay. So this is my Prairie Schooler Santa. And this is what the completed chart is going to look like. That's what it's going to look like when I'm done stitching it. So I think I just want to just polish it off, get it off my plate, and yeah, move on to something after that. So I think that I'm just going to concentrate on this guy, and I haven't stitching this week, and this is the only thing I've stitched on. So yeah, I think at least for a couple of weeks, I think I'm just gonna let the School of Magical Stitches slide to the background, and I'm just gonna have a concentration. Maybe when 1 piece a week or something like that, so I can get things done because, all right, that was my second confession, because my next confession, okay, remember this beauty that we talked about last week at length, my Spirit of Cross Stitch sampler. Okay, so I made you all tell me what light effects color I should use, and the poll was pretty much split in half between gold and purple, right? Gold and purple, those were our choices. Guess what? I can't read. I misread the chart. Okay, for years, okay, because that thing, I went to Spirit Cross Stitch Festival 1993. I have been thinking for years that the next part in the sampler is stitched using the Kreinik gold braid, which I hate, right? I say that every single time. It's still true. I hate stitching with that stuff. I despise it. So what's been holding me up is the next part of the chart. I thought you made these, what is it, triangular ray stitches. I think that's what it was called. It doesn't matter. So I thought that this thing was made with the Kreinik braid. Okay, so if I don't want to do something and if it's freaking me out, I'm going to set it aside, right? So I set it aside. Okay, the one thing that School of Magical Stitches has done for me has forced me to break out old patterns and make some progress on them. So, okay, so to the confession part. Like I said, it turns out I can't read because that part with the triangular ray stitch is not done in Kreinik gold braid. It's done in a super beautiful, light, goldy, yellowy DMC floss. Floss 677. So, thank you for your comments. Thank you for your opinions. I'm going to take all that light effects floss back. I'm going to just return it because the stuff is $3 a skein, right? Which is not all that bad, except I bought 5 of them because I didn't know which color I wanted. And I'm thinking, that's 15 bucks. And while that's not going to break the bank, that's another chart. So, I'm not doing light effects. I'm going to do 677, and I'm going to get beyond that part of the pattern that has crippled me forever. And I'm going to make some progress on that thing. So, if I get my Santa done, and there's a pretty good chance I'm going to get that polished off this weekend, I'm going to move back to my Spirit of Cross Stitch sampler, and I'm going to stitch in beautiful 677 DMC. Those are my plans for the week. So, yeah, I'm feeling good about that because it kind of gets me over a hump, and yeah. So that's one of my plans. And then the other thing, let's see here on my desk. Where did it go? Oh, here. All right. So tomorrow, my girlfriend Lynn and I are going to get together and stitch. And we both picked up the, can you see it? There it is. It's the Shepherd's Bush Merry Notes. And I know that you saw, if you've been watching me, you saw that I completed Spooky Notes for October, which is not FFO'd. But anyway, I'm not mad. I'll get there. I'll get there. Eventually I'll get some traction and some confidence, and I'll get beyond that pile. But anyway, Lynn's coming over. She's got this chart. So we've decided, it's more like I decided and told Lynn, hey, let's do this. We've decided we're going to start this together tomorrow. So I am totally looking forward to doing this. It is super stinking cute. So I'm going to start a little Shepherd's Bush. I'm going to have a little new start tomorrow with my girlfriend. So I'm looking forward to that. And who knows, maybe we'll end up at Hobby Lobby or someplace like that after we have lunch together, and I'll get some fabric and get some interfacing and try that whole pillow thing. We'll see. We'll see. I might have to have an adult beverage with our lunch, so I get brave enough to try an FFO. Okay, so another thing that was super fun this week is I got a box in the mail. You want to see it? I can't wait to show you. All right. I had seen, well, not seen, I had heard about a year-long subscription box, I guess is what you call it, through Jan Hicks Creates, and this was months and months and months ago, and it is through the Silver Needle, which is in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it's their Friends Stitching Circle. No, wait a minute. A little help from our Friends Stitching Circle, okay? So there's going to be 6 boxes that will come out over 12 months. And so I got my first box, and it couldn't be cuter. So let me just hold this up. So we got the stuff in the box to make this. So it is a pattern called Fractor Frida, and it's by Lottie Da. And I'm just so excited. Let me just move all the bits. So again, here's the pattern. And then it gives you everything you need. So here's the backing fabric. There's the yummy linen that we're going to stitch on. And then, of course, all the gorgeous flosses and a needle. And what is really cool, so I mean, I'm thinking we get the pattern, we get the finishing fabric, we get all the floss, they give us a needle. I mean, I'm happy with that. There's still more in the box. You guys, they sent the tin. They sent like the little basket. I mean, you know, it's tin, but little basket. And inside the basket, it's like, what's this? Unwrap it. Look at this thing. It's like, you know, it's like a little Edison light bulb. It's an Ord catcher. Isn't that clever? I'm just delighted. I am absolutely delighted with my box from the Silver Needle. I'm like, I feel like I need to write him a thank you note because it's so cool. So now that I've showed you, you know, my cute little tin and my Ort catcher and, you know, my awesome Fractor Frida? Fractor Frida? I think that's how you'd say it. Yeah. I kind of want to start stitching on that too. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm in the I want to stitch everything mode of life. I just want to stitch it all. I don't have time to go to bed because I got to stitch it all. So I got my first box from the Silver Needle. I am thrilled with the stuff. And the other thing, you guys, you know how they say that, you know, packaging really makes a difference? Look, I opened this box. I had no idea what it was. And look at this tissue. Have you ever seen such cute tissue paper? I mean, okay, I'm being a total freak about tissue, but I was so surprised because I'd actually kind of forgotten about the box because I subscribed, I don't know, it might have been back in August. So, you know, to get it now 2.5, 3 months later, yeah, I really had forgotten. So, yeah, very Very cool. Okay, couple other plans. This isn't for a while though. This is a November plan. But Becca Sombre Stitches went to Goodwill, and she was showing on her Instagram patterns that she found at Goodwill for, 99 cents. And one of the patterns I have, and I've wanted to stitch it forever, but I'm a little bit intimidated because it is chock full of specialty stitches. I mean, like the whole thing is like specialty stitches. But I thought, oh, well, if Becca's got it and we do it together and we like maybe turn it into a sow, then we can kind of, help each other out if we get stuck on specialty stitches. So it's this thing. It's called Gathering Pinecones. Look at that. Okay. Now this thing right here is a button. And when I had looked at this, and I know it sounds goofy, but I was thinking about converting this into a wedding sampler, because some really good friends of ours, when their son got married, I mean, he and his, now his wife, they're big hikers. And I thought, well, that might be kind of cool. And so I could, I've got the whole alphabet here, and I really was trying to figure out how I could turn this into a wedding sampler, and I thought it would be pretty appropriate for them. But in the end, I made a different choice. But I was kind of bummed because I was like, well, that's a big old button, and it's not stapled to the chart. Oops, not stapled to the chart. So I thought, well, now I've got to figure out something to do up there. And that was back when I was trying to figure out how to make this a wedding sampler. And I thought, well, maybe I could put, their last name or something. So after, I had that, thought, and then I'm like, I don't think I have time to, figure this out. I set it to the side, and I was adding some flosses to my floss boxes, and I came across this little bag, little blue innocuous bag, right? You never know what's inside those things. Can you see that? I have the button. So I am so looking forward to starting this. I just commented on Becca's latest FlossTube, and we're going to start it in February. And that gives us plenty of time to review the chart, read over how to do specialty stitches. I'm thinking maybe I'll get a little, small piece of Ada, and I can practice the specialty stitches before, I do the thing, right? So if you happen to have this chart, it's by Hillside Sampling, and honestly, you guys, I don't know if they're still around. I don't know if this is something that you can still purchase, but if you have one and you want to join us, we're going to do it in February. You have plenty of time. So I got the button. So anyway, that's another thing that I want to start, and it feels good to have a few plans on the books for things in the future, upcoming things. And then the other thing, I want to start the chart, what is it called? Watching the Skies. And again, totally hogging on Becca's Sal. She and Anna, the Stitch Roadie, are going to do a Sal on that guy. And it's not until January. So we kind of thought, well, if they do that one in January, then we can do the Pinecone ones in February. So they're not, piled on top of each other. So I don't even own Watching the Skies yet, but I will by January. Let's see here. Oh, and then because, I can't be left out, I had to go to Goodwill, and I found a chart. And by the time it was all said and done, 57 cents. But remember how I talked about I love the look of heart hanger. This has got a heart hanger on the bottom. And I don't know if I'm brave enough to try this, but my girlfriend Lynn, she does heart hanger. So I'm thinking, you know, if I give my 57-cent pattern a try, Lynn is going to be my ace in the hole because she knows how to do heart hanger. So anyway, I might just give it a whirl. And I don't know if that shows up at all, but that says hope. And I don't know. I think that's kind of charming. I might try it, or who knows, I might do it as a giveaway. But anyway, yeah, I found that. I was kind of stoked for that. Couple of people that I found on FlossTube this week. A couple of people called out the Rolodex Stitches. I guess her first name is Carla, and I've seen exactly half of a floss tube, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. So I'm gonna do a little binging and catch up with the Rolodex Stitches. And if you haven't watched her, give her a try because she's super fun. And then another one that I ran into a couple of weeks ago and just haven't had a chance to call her out is So Grateful, and she is so delightful. If you aren't watching her, you should be. So Grateful, S-E-W, Grateful. Those are the two new FlossTubers to me. So yeah, give those ladies a try. I think you will enjoy what you're watching. Okay, I know that you guys are all dying to know who won those beautiful magazines from last FlossTube. I did the YouTube random comment picker. Now, because I can't figure out how to like insert pictures, I just haven't done a good job of spending time and sitting down and figuring out how to edit things into things. I'll just tell you, I did it. You're just gonna have to trust me. I don't have a picture to prove it, but the winner of the magazines is, I wrote it down, is Kelly Hale. Kelly, congratulations. You are the winner of the 3 magazines that I am giving away. So comment, send me an email if you want. I have my email down there, or I will try to comment on your original comment and, you know, put my email on there. So you can email me, you can message me through Instagram if you want, Lady Robin S. Either way, yeah, let's get hooked up so I can get those in the mail to you. I'm happy that somebody wanted them, and yeah, going to a great home, I'm sure. So I think that's all I've got this week. Kind of a short one, but that's okay. They don't all have to be an hour. I don't know about you, but 30 minutes is good for me if it's good for you. So you guys have a good evening. I hope you get some time to relax and to stitch. I'm going to head off and finish my hot apple cider in my beautiful Disney's Hollywood Studio mug and get this uploaded for you. And I'll see you next week. Have a good week, you guys. Bye.